Shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Yahweh Kakodash, Yahweh, which is the one only true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who will well teach well, because those are the men who I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the Ophel elect, and shalom to you, sincere brother scattered abroad. Push forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And pretty much this lesson is going to be titled as the image of the Messiah, because it is important. You know, if the Messiah was dwelling on the earth today, he'll be titled as a so-called Negro man, and we're going to prove that in the scriptures. I'll start at Revelation 1 and 9 because this goes into the vision that John the Revelator saw. John the Revelator had a vision and he saw the Messiah in that vision. And when he had that vision, he was on the island of Patmos when he had the visions, right? He had a lot of visions. He also had visions of the future, future prophecies. Now let's get to it. This is Revelation 1 and 9. I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation and in the kingdom and patience of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, was in the isles, which means islands, that is called Patmos, for the word of the Most High and for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. So John the Revelator, he was on the island of Patmos when he had the vision of the Messiah and what he saw. And this is what he saw when he was on the island of Patmos. The island of Patmos, by the way, was where criminals went. It's a far out island where all criminals was exiled to. And he was exiled on the island of Patmos. Revelation 1 and 13, it says, and in the midst of the seven candlesticks, like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot. So the Messiah, this is the appearance of the Messiah, what he saw in the vision. The Messiah had a long garment going all the way down to the foot. And it says, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. A golden girdle is a belt that goes around your waist of solid gold. Verse 14. And this is the image of what John the Revelator saw of the Messiah in his vision. It says, verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool. Who has woolly hair? If you look at a Negro man on the earth, an elderly Negro man, their hair is white and woolly. That's what the Messiah had, white woolly hair, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his eyes was as a flame of fire because the Messiah drank a lot of wine. He was a wine bibber. And if you look up what a wine bibber is, it is an alcoholic. He drank a lot of wine. The Messiah did. That's why his eyes was red as a flame of fire. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass. What is brass? Brass is like a light golden color. But if you burn brass and put it in a furnace, it gets very, very, very dark, which goes to the Hebrew word kadar, which means dark. So the Messiah, he was a dark-skinned man. If he was dwelling on the earth today, he would be titled as a so-called Negro man. It says, as if they burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So there you go. The Messiah, if he was dwelling on the earth today, he would be titled as a so-called Negro man. And we can also prove this in Daniel 10, reading verse 5 all the way down to verse 7. Because Daniel the prophet, he also saw the Messiah. And he also had a vision just like John the Revelator did when he saw the Messiah. Daniel 10 and 5. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with the fine of gold of Uphaz. Verse 6. His body also was like the burial of his face, as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet, like in the color of polished brass. And what is brass? Brass, again, it told you, brass is like a light golden color, but if you put it in a furnace, it gets very, very, very dark. So the Messiah was a dark-skinned man. He was a very dark-skinned man. All right, it says his arms and his feet like in the color of polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. So just imagine a very huge, deep voice, man. And it just echoes, man. A powerful aura, man. It's Yapa. Verse 7. And this is the point. This is the proof that Daniel the prophet also saw the vision of the Messiah. Nobody else saw that vision but him. Verse 7. And I, Daniel alone, see, and I, Daniel alone, saw the vision, for the men that were with me saw not the vision. See, Daniel the prophet was the only one that saw the vision of the Messiah. He saw the Messiah in a vision. And it says, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. So it's mentioned in the scriptures what the Messiah will look like according to the scriptures. And if the Messiah was dwelling on the earth today, he will be titled as a so-called Negro man. The Messiah is a so-called Negro according to the scriptures. He's not pale face, blonde hair, blue eyes. That is not the Messiah. If the Messiah was dwelling on the earth today, he would be titled as a so-called Negro man. So, hey, Lord willing, that's edifying. Just want to do a quick hit. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Hashai, Bashim Kakodash. Till next time I say, Shalom.